We are starting to do our spreadsheet work today. And here we go. By now we've filled out our survey data. And so we've broken that up. We have screen time and heights of everyone in the class. And also broken down by male, female, and non-binary. The instructions that you will be following when you do these assignments, both the screen time and the height assignment, are right here. I've already opened them right here. So I'll be referring back to these here and there, but you can also do that on your own. So this is unpublished. We don't have class data yet as I record this, but eventually you will have class data here that you can click on and you can open. Okay, and then you'll submit your assignment here to this spreadsheet assignment. So for this video, I'm going to use this data. This is actually data from last year. And when you open it, this is what it will look like. All the data will be here from the survey, and it goes down. You can see it's all broken up by male or female. The first column is your grade, screen time, and then we're going to also have heights in inches. Okay. And then we'll fill these tables in these tables and make histograms and pie charts. So first thing you should do is make a copy, and let's name it some. I always want you to say like your name. Like awesome student, or whatever your name is. Okay, and then make a copy. I don't need to do that, but you certainly can. You can also just, once it's made, you can always click up here and change your title. Okay, so first we need to sort this, and spreadsheets can do this really pretty easily. I want to grab and highlight all of this. I'm going to just get rid of the height right now. We're just working on screen time. So the first time you're going through this, you can also just delete all of these heights if they're that are there. We're just going to focus on screen time. So I'm going to highlight, starting with the first student. Whoops, I opened my dictionary on accident. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to highlight there and drag all the way down to every student. Right there, okay? And so I've got columns A, B, and C. I want to sort first by male and female. This class, by chance, that only had males and females. So you go to data to do that, and it can sort the range. So the range is referring to everything that I just highlighted. So if you sort the range, it's doing it by column A, which is right here, which is the gender. And A to Z will be alphabetically A to Z. So A to Z would put the females first, followed by the males. Z to A would be males first, followed by females. So you can sort it however you'd like. I'll just do A to Z. And it's going to keep, like this male in 9th grade with 2.3 hours of screen time, it's going to keep this person connected. So if this person gets moved way down, the 9 and the 2.3 stay with that person. So sort the range, A to Z. Bloop. Well, you can see this class had a lot of males last year. This particular class, I think this might have been actually like 2 of my classes last year. I only had 5 females. So that'll make finding the female data a little bit easier. Okay, then within the females, I want to sort the screen time. The grade isn't, I'm not really even looking at the grade. If you wanted, you could delete this. You go up to the B, and we have a mouse, so you can right click on it, and then you can delete the column. We might as well, because we're not going to be graphing the grade. So I'll delete that column. Boop. Okay. So now highlight just the 5 females, and I want to sort by the screen time, which is sorting by column B. So I'll go back to data, sort range, but you'll notice, uh-oh, my only options are column A. So I have to go down to advanced options. Then it's still referring to just the highlighted part, sorting the range from that I've highlighted, but I'm just going to do column B. And I want to go A to Z would be small to big, Z to A would be the big hours to the small hours. I'll just stick with A to Z. So it only sorted it. You see that right there? Boom, the females are sorted. That should do the same for the males. So gotta scroll and highlight all the way down. Okay. Make sure I've only highlighted what I want and go back to data and repeat that. Sort the range. Advanced options. I only want to sort by column B, the screen time. So boom, and A to Z again. Okay, so I've got it sorted. Okay, so now we're going to fill in these tables. Oh, I'm going to clean this up. I don't like all these extra columns. They're not necessary. So I'm just going to delete column C. So right click and delete it. There we go. So let's do females first because it's right here already. So to find the average, that's when you add them all up and divide. It's really pretty simple on spreadsheet. You just type, you click on the cell you want, so the average for the females, then you type equals, and you start typing average, and look, it pops up right here. And you can click it, or you can finish typing out the whole thing. And it capitalized it as soon as I clicked on it and put a parenthesis. So then what it wants is it wants to know, you want the average of what number. So I can either click over here on the first number. If I click on it, notice what it puts in here. It puts in B2 because that's the location of this 1.3. It's column B, row 2. So B2. And then here you have to then put a colon like that. And then you can click on the last female of the 6 here. Oops, what did I do wrong? Let me click back here. I didn't like that. I didn't like that either. So how about I just type it in? So I'm just going to type in B6. And it highlighted all of them. It's like, yep, that's the numbers I want the average of. So it's going to add them up and divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so as soon as I hit enter right here, I'm good to go. Boom. Suggested autofill. It's trying to be helpful, but it's not what we want because we want the median and the mode. These would just be different averages that it's finding. So I'm going to click X. No, I do not want that autofill. We can do the same thing for the males. So equals. Start typing in average. It pops up, so click on it. Click on the first male, which is this 2, which is B7. Boop, colon, and then I had trouble clicking the second time, so I'm just going to go down. What's my last cell way down here? The 11 is B45. So I'm going to type B45. Then I'm going to close my parenthesis. Boop. And then hit enter. It looks like it's floating right here. It's not. It's where we originally began. So when I hit enter, it's there. It's the 5.32. And again, it has the suggested autofill, which I will not do. Oh, so sorry, 5.24. Okay, the median, same thing. Let's do females first. The median is the middle number. I only have 5 numbers here, so it's actually pretty easy. It's going to be this cell right here. It's the third number of 5. It's the middle. But you can also type in median. Same thing. It pops up. And the same drill. You go click colon B6. No, yeah, it was a 6. B6. Close your parenthesis and hit enter. And sure enough, it's this 5.5 is the median or the middle number. It's going to be much more helpful for the males because there's so many more males. I don't really want to have to count to the middle. So the first cell is B7. I click on it. Colon, what was that last cell again? B45. Let's check. Oh, look. Oh, it goes, the orange is going way too far. How about, can I click on it this time? Well, it is B45. Oh, I did it. No, it didn't. B45. Enter. Oh, maybe it did it right. It just didn't see, I didn't see the 45. All right, the mode, the most often number, is the most commonly found number. Now, for the females, you can see there's two 5.5. So again, when the data set's small, I don't really need the help of the spreadsheets. But nonetheless, I can still click on the first cell, B2, type in colon B6, and sure enough, it finds that 5.5 happens twice, more than any other number. You can also try this. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to try to drag it to the left. And, no, I changed my mind. That's not going to work. I thought I was trying to be sneaky, like with the autofill. I take that back. So let's do the mode for the males. First male is here at B7. I'm starting to memorize this, how many there are. The last male was B45. Close the parenthesis, hit enter. 2. Yeah, well, look, they're right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 2s for this group. So it happened more than any other number. All right, the range is the max minus the min, okay? And you don't have to do the math in your head. I mean, this is pretty easy, simple math, but still, for the females, it's the 6 minus the 1.3. And you can just type it in, equals, and then click on the cell. Don't type 6. Click this cell, and then click minus, and then click this cell, B6 minus B2. And then hit enter, and it does the math for you. For the males, equals B45 minus B7, right? B45 is the one way down here, B45. It's the 11. So it's 11 minus 2, which isn't that hard. It's 9, but it's just showing you the power of spreadsheets. It can do any calculation you ask of it. The sum of the data, this is adding all the numbers up. Add up the total number of hours the females are on their phone. So equals, and it's just, oh, look at that. It's predicting what we want, the sum. Now it has the wrong cells, F5 to F8, but it is the sum. So type sum, pick it. Uh-oh, it's stuck with F5 and F8. You can also come up here, by the way. The first cell is B2, right? And the last cell for the females was B6. And it highlights them for you right here. Part of it's covered, but you can see it. Then hit enter. There we go. So all of these numbers added up. There you go. Here, same thing with the males. Sum. I'm going to type it in. Sometimes it's easier. First cell for the males was B7. Last cell was B45. So you can see some of the repetitive nature. You always do the first cell and the last cell. And there you go. Now this is a much larger number just because there's many more males. But it's kind of a cool feature. We didn't have any non-binary, so I'll put NA, meaning not applicable. If we have non-binary data, then if it's only like 1 or 2 students, we can still fill this out. It might be easy enough to just do the calculations mentally rather than use the spreadsheets. Now, if I want to do the same thing for the entire class, I'm going to do equals. I'll go back to the average, right? And type average. And I want to do the very, very first student, which is the first female here, which is B2. And I want to go down to the very last male, which was B45. Way down to the bottom again. Okay? And there you go. The suggested autofill, again, it's going to try to find averages of something. It's not what we want. All right. Median of everybody is B2 to B45. Okay, that's all the students. And then same thing, just working my way down. Mode of everybody is B2 to B45. Range will be the maximum number minus the minimum. So that'll be equal to the maximum, which was the 11-hour person right here. I'll click on that. You can see the cell kind of move so I can still type. Minus the smallest cell, I think was the 1.3. So B45 minus B2. And then the sum of the data equals SUM parenthesis B2, first female to last male, B45. All right, so we have all of it organized. This here, let's come back to that. First, I want to make a histogram, okay? To do that, you're going to do one for male and one for female. We didn't have any non-binary data for this group. You're going to highlight just the numbers. So let's do the females first. Highlight just them, and you hit Insert Chart. And oh, sure enough, it pretty much did. I'll call it a column chart. If yours defaults to something else, you can come up here and scroll until you find this one. It says Other, and it's a histogram chart. Click on that, and it changed. Yep. Okay. Let me adjust the size here a little bit for you so you can see something. You can drag it and move it around. I'm going to drag it a little further. Here's this table over here that I'm going to try to use, all right? I want to make the bottom go by these groupings, 0 to 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, and so on. So to do that, you go to Customize, back into the histogram, and here it says bucket size. So 0 to 1 and 2 to 3, these are bucket sizes of 2. Okay? But notice it still started at 1. I want it to start at 0. So that's fine, leave that. Come down to the horizontal axis, which is the bottom axis. And here, do you see it has a minimum and a maximum? So type in, it starts at 0, is where I want it to begin. And it will go all the way up to, let's say, what was the highest we had? Was 11 hours, all the way up to 11. Okay. Oop. And I clicked out of it, but it changed, and now it matches what we have for the females. I can actually use this to fill this in. How many were there in the 0 to 1 hour category? Oh, wait a minute. It has 0 to 2, doesn't it? Oh, that's right. It goes up to 2. So we had one person there. 2 to 3 hours, we had nobody. So 0. 4 to 5 hours was the tall bar with 3 people. 6 to 7 hours had 1, and then 0 and 0. There was nobody above 7 hours for the females. Okay? You can also easily click on the title and give it a good title. Screen time is not a bad title, but I'm just going to add females because we're going to put it right next to the males. Okay? And then you can shrink it, you can adjust it, you can put it, you can drag it and put it wherever you want. So let's put it like right in here somewhere. Okay? And then let's do it again and repeat it for the males. So again, I just highlight the data itself for males down to the 11, insert my chart. Oh, this time it picked a histogram, so it's trying to learn from my past behavior. Okay, let's customize it again. Histogram. Bucket size, see it did auto, it's trying to predict. Let's make the bucket size 2 again. And then that's set. Now we have to go down and change the x-axis, the horizontal axis, to what we want. Minimum was 0, maximum was 11. There we go. So, and it automatically adjusted. So we've got the 0 and the 1, the 2 and the 3, the 4 and the 5, and so on. I'm going to name it screen time. I don't need histogram. I mean, you can leave that if you want, but screen time males. And let's try to make it the same size as the other one I had and put it up next to it. See when that red line popped up right there? That means those two histograms are at the same height. Okay, there we go. Oh, and I can fill this in now. How many males, see this is males, were 0 to 1 hours, and I can look. There were none. How many males were 2 and 3 hours? 12 of them. And 12 again. And then this is a 10 hours. And then 2 and 2. Right here might look like 1, but if you go over it's a 2 right there. Okay. Some of these are bold and some of them are not. If you want to just highlight these, if you want them all to be bold, you just go up here and click bold. That's not really that important. Okay, so I got both my histograms. Bada bing, bada boom. Pie charts. All right, so it's nice to have these so I can I want to grab the category and the frequency. Let's do males first and highlight both of them. Insert your chart. Oh, it automatically picked histogram again, but no. We're going to go here to chart type, scroll to the pie chart. These are all pie charts. They're all pretty similar. You can just pick one. And there you go. And there it is. Now, the name is kind of silly. That's the default it gave. So we'll say screen time males. All right. And they're already labeled. So there are options over here you can play with when you hit customize, like pie slices. You can change the color of them. You can also change, title here and others. I think you can. There's a way to get these numbers to show up like on top of the blue rather than over here. You can play with it if you like, or that is sufficient. So I'm going to shrink it down and drag it down here. Okay. Then I just need to do this one more time. Well, the males were over here, weren't they? Keep it organized. There. All right. Highlight the females and do the same thing and get a female pie chart. Insert chart. Oop, it defaulted again to a histogram. Go down to a pie chart. There were fewer females, so there's only 3 colors here. But it's good. So I'm going to say screen time females for my title. Shrink it down. If these aren't all the exact same size, that's okay. There you go. All right. So I've done my whole analysis, used Google Sheets to do a lot of this. I've never really done calculations on my own. And the last thing you're going to do is you will write a conclusion, multiple sentences about the things that you are noticing. I'd like at least 5 sentences, okay? So what is standing out to you? And there's no right or wrong answer necessarily, but you have a lot of things to pull from and a lot of things that you could use to compare. You could say, how do their averages compare? It looks like the males have a higher average. So the males are 5.2 and the females are 4.6. So I could start there. The males have a higher average screen time. Then I like to quantify it. It is roughly 30 minutes more than the females. I can't spell females. You could start there. I'm just going to try to find some things to write about. I might also just comment, like, I only had 5 females, and I had how many males did I have? I went from 7, row 7 to 45, right? So 45 minus 7 is 38. Now, and you might think you click over here, and you actually click on the first cell here, and it pops you back into this box. You can type up here, or I think the cursor is where I want it as well. I'm going to say the sample sizes are very different. We have only 5 females compared to 38, is that what I came up with? Males. Okay. What else can we pull from this? The most common tallest bar for the females was 4 to 5 hours, 4 and 5. Was that the same for the males? Well, the males had 2 of them, but their 4 to 5 was their tallest. So you could say both groups had the tallest bar from 4 to 5 hours. I'm going to double click over here again. I'm going to come up. Well, you could, oh, the cursor's in the right spot. Both groups' tallest bar was in the 4 to 5 hours a day category. You could also say, I noticed this, the males had nobody in the, nobody less than 2 hours. Nobody with less than 2 hours. Like, the females had 1, males had nobody in this category. What else could we pull from this? So I've got 1, it's getting larger. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences so far. Let's try to find one more thing. The range is like how spread out the data is. The males had a range of 9 and the females were 4.7. That's almost double. So the boys are more inconsistent or more spread out. I shouldn't say boys, sorry, the males. So the range of the males was almost double that of the females, meaning their screen time was much more spread out and inconsistent. So I think I've got 5 sentences there, and that's good. So you'll have to come up with this conclusion on your own. That's strange. When I click off of it, it's like a big run-on sentence that goes way off to the side. What I could do to avoid that is, let me do this. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to kind of cut it. So you can hit Command X, or I think if yep, I'm going to cut. It's going to cut out that part I just had. Then I'm going to come down here and paste. You can right click and hit paste, or you can hit Command V on your keyboard. Okay. And I'm going to do this a couple times. Just I don't want it to be a run-on going way off the side. So again, I'll click here. I'll grab somewhere in here at the beginning of a sentence. I'm going to cut it again. So right click, cut. It only cutted the highlighted part. It looks like it's still there, but it's been cut. Come down here and paste it. And I'll do it maybe one or two more times. I'll cut here. This time I'll just use the keyboard, Command X. Oh, this time it disappeared. Come down here, Command V. There. Now I can read my whole conclusion. It doesn't run off the screen. All right. There you have it, folks. Hopefully that helps you do the assignment.